Right. Awesome. Well, good evening, everyone. I am Caribbean Luellen, your host for Texas Advocates for Justice, the protest event for protest through art event. I'm sorry. Since the founding of our organization, we have always incorporated the arts in our activism and are still carrying on that tradition today by making sure that the aspect of art is always respected and represented in our advocacy. Included in our program is a Taj video discussing the importance of art, poetry performances, a short film, and a panel discussion. We thank you, our panelists, for being here today. We also want to thank you, our audience, for tuning in. At the end of this program, we will select a winner for our random drawing and gift the person with a $50 gift card. Umbre, our timekeeper, will announce this at the end of the event. Now on to our Taj video.
The GP is my name, trying to maintain our memories lane of pain. Fatherless one, had to be the father and son. Shit feeling like, will I last? GP is an outcast. Hit the streets, camouflage, dodging police. When will it cease? No peace till you decease. So I give shots on the streets, raise hell till I reach heaven. Mr. GP, your brethren, listen to the The GP is my name, trying to maintain our memories lane of pain. Fatherless one, had to be the father and son. Shit feeling like, will I last? GP is an outcast. Hit the streets, camouflage, dodging police. When will it cease? No peace till you decease. So I give shots on the streets, raise hell till I reach heaven. Mr. GP, your brethren, listen to the ghosts of ghetto past echoes. Family fast down memories lane. Too much fucking pain, drive you insane. In the membrane, memories of poverty. Gotta rise to sovereignty. Tomorrow never dies. The yesterday is killing me softly. Speaking, it was written. Godfather, the author, life story, hard from the fucking start of memories paid down, memories lane.
My name is Rosarito Rodriguez, and I've been working at Texas Southern University as a performance professor in the fine arts department, now the visual and performing arts department, for 7 years now. And I decided to become a teacher because, first of all, I enjoyed being in the classroom and on the stage. So it was logical for me to pair the two and be a theater teacher. And it has helped me immensely because theater is a place where you can express what you can't otherwise. Sometimes through writing, you can heal yourself. As I was writing my master's thesis, I decided to write a one-woman show based on the experiences that I had moving from Puerto Rico, where I was born and grew up until I was 20 years old. I lived there. And I moved to Georgia to do my master's degree. And as I was writing, I was talking about racism within the Hispanic community. And as I was writing, I became the victim of racism, and I was in love for the first time.
Exactly how much one of my 7 channels is currently earning. So as you see right over here on my computer,
And that boy decided not to be with me because his family did not accept me because they considered that I was black, and he was white, although we were both Puerto Rican. So as I was writing a piece theatrical piece, I was also experiencing racism. And so through theater, I healed my heart, literally. I remember at first I couldn't even read what I wrote about that heartbreak, but later on I just thanked the heavens for that experience, because it definitely led me to understand the world, my world, a little bit better.
Music being an art form itself was the first thing to catch my attention. You know what I'm saying? Especially my family being into the music so much. Me being so young at like 5 or 8 years old, rapping with my cousins and being the smallest one out there. I was looking like Bushwick Bill because everybody's so much older than me. But that was how early I was influenced by music and art. And, you know, the whole culture of hip hop itself is an art. So, you know what I'm saying? I was heavily influenced by music itself, and then all the artists that I grew up on as far as West Coast music, Tupac, NWA, you know what I'm saying, a lot of that, you know, raised me too, because that's what my older siblings and relatives was listening to. So, you know, yeah, that influenced me heavily. And just music in itself, all kinds of music.
My name is Chantel Lewis. I'm the president of Texas Southern University's Hip Hop Society. We're actually the first and only hip hop organization at any HBCU across the nation. An HBCU is a historically Black college or university. A lot of people don't know that. The reason why the arts are important to me is because they're a form of expression. You can really become another person in any form of art, whether it's drawing, acting, singing. You could portray a different character. So that's something that's really important to me, because to me it's important not to bottle things in, but rather express yourself and put it on paper or put it into a song or put it on stage, whatever struggle you might be going through. Basically what we do is we went into Lamar Fleming Middle School and we tutored the kids for a whole semester. Move on to the next grade level, they'll easily be held back. So we believe that if we go in there and we tutor these kids and then we give them an assembly or we incorporate music or hip hop into the lesson, they'll be able to connect with it easier. Because we believe not everybody learns the same. Everybody learns differently. It's not a bad thing. It's just something that I feel like society needs to recognize. And it's something that could be very efficient and beneficial to our culture, really.
Well, I think that the kind of person I was before I started writing is I kind of live life to impress. And when I started writing, I kind of started to be able to live life to express. And I think that changed me a lot, because having so much energy and being able to express that and put it in words on paper, it's a self-discovery. It really is. It's a journey all in its own. So the characters you create and the journey you go on with them tells you a lot about yourself. We don't live life to make money. It's not a game of leveling up and getting points. This is our lives. Like, our life should be a living work of art, because art reflects so much to people after us that we can inspire leaders, we can build nations, we can tear them down, we can throw revolutions. And I think that the arts are always the fuel behind that. And I think people deny themselves, because you need art to get up and do your job. You know, everyone listens to music. You know, who designed a car and it wasn't an art form? You know, I think that people who look down on the arts are kind of one-sided thinkers who just, you know, push past, who refuse to accept the depth and possibility of the arts. And I think that with the arts, there's no greater power than being able to change someone's heart, you know, and I think that art is the one thing that does that.
In my life, outside of theater, it's just me. But when I come into theater, I have a family. I have people to laugh with, people to share with, but vice versa. When I leave theater, it's just me. Me to encourage myself, to uplift myself. And when you get to theater, you have people encouraging you and telling you to move forward. Keep going, no matter the situation of your life, no matter what's going on in your life, make it happen. Keep going.
This started in high school. Everyone knew me as Lady E. But Lady E was going through a hard time dealing with my parents' divorce, being the oldest of three, the poverty that we lived in, and it was coming out in a negative fashion. But when I found out that I could write all that down and put it to a track and express myself, it was healing. And so I found healing in the arts at a young age, and experiencing theater once I got to college, and that was just icing on the cake.
Just as medicine is cure to the body, music is cure for the soul. So we all need music, and which is art, which is just art in a sound form. You know what I'm saying? We all need that to heal our soul. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the specific purpose of what it does. We have to reach people, and when we put out music, you know what I'm saying? When we put out this culture, we have to reach people, and it has to send a message to them.
What a great video. I think that sent a powerful message about how art has an impact on protesting. Now we will introduce our panelists. Up first, we have Johnny Torres, who is a poet and Brown Beret. Next, we'll have Brigit Walker with Children Prison Arts Project. Also, we'll have Steph Jones with I Am Magazine. And last but not least, we'll have Nikki Luellen, an organizer with Texas Advocates for Justice and founder of Nikki L Films and Theater. Now, for our panelists, please introduce yourself, your work, and what you hope to accomplish by utilizing art and advocacy. And we'll start off with you, Brigit, if you don't mind.
Yeah, hi, my name is Brigit Walker. I had been working with youth in juvenile facilities for 28 years. We started in 1994 in one facility, and then we moved up and worked in all the facilities that Harris County has 4 facilities. We know we are artists who are working in there. Well, now with COVID, everything got changed because we did Zoom visual art, we did creative writing. We couldn't do theater through Zoom because of the touching and all this. So I created a magazine of the artwork and the creative writing that the kids wrote. Art is extremely important for our young generations and for children who are in these facilities specifically, because the art opens up their imagination, their thinking, more critical thinking, and the kids love it. I mean, after each performances we had done and each artwork they do in the past before COVID, we had an evaluation sheet for the kids, and we never had any negative feedback. We work with around 700 youth each year. And they right now they have like 135 kids just in juvenile detention downtown, and that's very high. I never had a high number like this downtown. It was always 120. Now it's 135. It's just not right to put kids into juvenile facilities. I'm originally from Germany. In Germany, they put kids into from 17 years on in facilities. So this tonight is very important because people don't know how important the arts are. It needs always education. And I'm happy to be here. I finally figured it out how to be here with you.
Awesome. Thank you, Brigit. Steph, can you go next for us, please?
Hello. Hi, my name is Steph Jones. So my mission with I Am Magazine was to establish a dual platform for art and activism to support artists, mainly starting out by having artists connect directly with their fan base in a grassroots community type of way, where fans who support their local artists who also are socially conscious and active in their community could directly connect with them and support them and maybe even donate to them. So it's been a goal of mine for probably over a decade to try to establish that connection between artists and the community. activism and of artists, the history of artists and the role they played in activism. And uh, a prime example would be Basquiat, and and how he protested through his art, and he was an artist. And a lot of people may not even know about him. I actually just recently found out, probably about a year ago, about him, and I didn't even know how important and how influential he was to the art world and the community. So I have this hat on that has like a 3-point crown on it, and the reason why I wanted to wear it is because Basquiat, one of the things that symbols that he put in his art was a 3-point crown. Uh, and so that kind of represented, his art, and that was a signature of his art, and how he protested through art and things of that nature. But the ultimate goal is what I wanted to achieve with it, is for artists to actually become also entrepreneurs through artwork, and not just to be able to support themselves, so-called starving artists, to support themselves through the magazine also as well, and through combining with activism in the community and getting the support that they deserve by being socially active as well through activism and art coming together.
Thank you, Steph.
Thank you.
We'll hear from Johnny next.
Hi, can everybody hear me really good?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, I'm Johnny Torres, and I'm a poet, brown beret, and the way I protest through my art is revolutionary poetry, which I've been writing several years now, and I just published a book about it called The Revolutionary Diaries last year, and it's been a great experience for me and everybody else who gets to read it, because I believe everyone has to go through a lot of things, discrimination and all kinds of things in this world that we live in. And so I documented all my activism times, and I wrote about it not too long ago, which I'm still writing today. And my next book will be out in 2 months, and it's called Voices of the Rebellion, which I did as like an anthology with other activists, poets, and all kinds of interesting people that are about the revolution that got to be a part of it. Nikki is part of the book as well. She wrote a good poem in there, and I can't wait for it to come out and everyone gets to see it. But today I'll be reading from my other book, The Revolutionary Diaries, which I'll be reading in a little bit. So that's what I've been doing today and for a good while now.
Awesome. Thank you, Johnny. And now we'll hear from Nikki.
Hey, how's everyone doing today? I'm excited to be here, and I just want to just say how much of an honor it is to be with Johnny, to be with Virgin Walker, Gypsy, to be with Steph Jones and the work that they do. This program is very important because it talks about using our art to make a difference. And that's what I've done ever since I was 17 years old, is to take my poems, to take the plays that I write, and to use that as a medium to make a difference and to make a change in society. So even, with the support that we get, or even with the lack of support we get, I just want to give a message that we have to keep on fighting and keep on making a difference and keep on making a change, because, this work is hard. It's not easy. Everything that I write, I feel it first, and I want others to feel the same way I felt when I wrote that, and to get the message, the same message that I got when I was writing it. I want the audience to feel that. So that's what I want to accomplish by using my art as a tool of advocacy, to keep advocating against the injustices that are happening in the criminal injustice system, to keep protesting against mass incarceration, to keep protesting against racism and discrimination and all forms of discrimination. So I want people to recognize that their power, to be empowered, to recognize that they have a voice, and then hopefully use their talents as well to make a difference.
Awesome. Thank you, Nikki. This question is for Johnny and Bergit. In your opinion, has there been a dismissal of power of art when it comes to making a difference in the community? If so, how do you think we should address this issue? Either of you can go first.
I'm not quite sure with the question.
Again. So the question is, in your opinion, has there been a dismissal of power of art when it comes to making a difference in the community?
Well, all I know is we working in the facilities. We're not working directly in the community, but from kids that I have followed, if they not have gone into our program, they possibly would be in adult incarceration by now. But the one kid, he was very introverted and very angry. He was 14 years old. He became another person when he was with us for over a year. He did art, he did theater, and with another kid, they wrote a play together about bullying, which we performed. So the children in this facility have no self-esteem because many of them are always being talked down and never uplifted. And it was great to see the one kid that I followed and other kids that I see occasionally here and there. They are all beautiful and positive. They are now, some of them come back into facilities, and that is very sad, but it happens. There's just one girl that came back like after many years. She's back into the facility, and you can't save everybody. You know, you can do as much as you can with arts education, which is extremely important, and they can learn a lot through arts education. And what would be great if there are not enough art centers where kids can go after school. That's why partially this is a problem. Me born in Germany after the war, they had a great art centers in the big city, and you could go there and do any different kinds of arts for free. You only had to pay a tiny amount for materials. There's nothing like this here. There's nothing for free where kids could go and learn art or be in different classes of art. And that's really sad. There are some community centers I have worked with, Mecca Multicultural Multicultural Education and Counseling through the Arts. It's an art center. They also counsel the children and the parents. And when I started there, I was there for 10 years, program director and artist. It is very important. I mean, kids love the art. They really love it. And the more they get exposed to it, the better. I'm going to close down soon because I'm getting too old for all this administration work and all this. So there's really need in these facilities to continue arts education. And there was always more kids who wanted to come to us than we would take. We're not taking too much, so we don't become the police. So we have like 7, 8 kids in the theater, 2 in the visual art. And that worked very well for us. If it is more, it becomes not the best sometimes, because then you have kids from different areas trying other things to do. But all my life, I had been an artist. I had been on the forefront with the most radical theater company in the 60s, communicating with all kinds of different people in the communities that were very active. The Black Panthers, the Puerto Rican ones up in New York, very progressive people. I mean, incredible. They didn't use the arts, but we talked a lot about the arts when we met those people and the importance of the arts for our youth.
I never had to witness anything like that. Usually, my words and my poetry have an impact on people. Usually, I always try to leave a good message, no matter what, and make sure everybody understands what I'm trying to read to them, and hoping that they can follow, you know, the writing in their lives as well, like I learned. Because this world it is very difficult, and a lot of us don't understand a lot of things right now. A lot of things are happening in this world, but slowly everybody's waking up, and I'm honored and glad and grateful to read my poetry whenever I can, because I know it's going to make a difference. But I never had somebody or anybody not understanding, and they went a different route. Usually, I want my poetry to have an impact on people, and it usually does. And what I always want to accomplish, reading tonight and any other day, for everyone to have, a good attitude and know where to go in this world.
Thank you, Johnny and Bergit. Well, this next question is for Nikki and Steph. Considering the history of art and protest, what are some projects you have worked on or are planning to do that will engage the community about the pertinent issues we are facing? Nikki, if you want to.
Okay, yes, I'll go first. Can you repeat that question again?
That will engage the community about pertinent issues that we're facing today.
Thank you. Can y'all hear me? Okay, I think I'm having a couple of audio issues here. Some projects that I'm working on and that I'm planning to do that will engage the community about pertinent issues that we are facing is currently we're doing the Texas Advocates for Justice podcast. And what that project does is it tells people what's happening in the community, what's happening in Harris County, as far as the injustices that are occurring. And we're talking about the large jail population that's occurring. And we're using the format of a video, of a video podcast, to get that message across. Also, what I plan to do is I plan to just continue to do more poetry, continue to do plays, and that way the community can stay engaged with what's going on and what's happening. For instance, I've been working on, for the last year, 2 years, I believe, a small webisode. It's called Grandma Straight Talk, and it's funny, it's engaging, but it's about this older lady who is dealing with issues in the community such as gentrification, police brutality, and that's a way that it's engaging the community, and it's telling them about the pertinent issues that we are facing. And it also is making people think, while at the same time, entertaining them as well. So that's those are a couple of projects that I'm working on.
I think we're having some technical issues with Steph. Are you there with us, Steph? Can you hear? We can't hear you. All right. We still can't hear you. We're gonna go ahead and go into our next video. It's called Grandma Straight Talk, and it's written and directed by Nikki Luellen. We hope you enjoy it. Here it is.
through the good.
Good time.
Turning bad into good.
Good
And I
time.
might not have much,
Good
but
time.
I'm still showing love.
Good time. Ain't we blessed we got 'em.
Do, 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 do.
Good time.
Hey, that one works. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, and I'm gonna be walking Jerusalem and singing Jerusalem.
Grandma. The police arrested you here.
Oh,
Your work can feel much smoother with Monday.com WorkOS. This smooth.
damn it, you dropped the thing. Come on, boy. Get me out of here. Open this damn door, please. Get this boy. Open that damn door.
Damn, bro.
If ain't nobody that see you,
Hey, Grandma. Please, man.
You got me sore, you dirty ass cop.
Grandma, calm down. That's not a cop. That's my homeboy from school. He's a security guard.
Oh, well, y'all know y'all ain't supposed to be standing out in front of here like this anyway.
Damn.
Ain't y'all supposed to be so like this and that? Let me get my ass in the house before I pass out. Oh, God. Already got high blood pressure, high sugar, high bills. Y'all don't give nothing about fuck about me, huh? Well, maybe things went a bit too far. But I made it up to John and made him a pie. But seriously though, police brutality is a serious issue in this country. And if you see a cop abusing your loved one, don't just sit there and record. Damn it, you need to get up and whoop their ass.
Kind of like you did me.
Oh, no, baby. Oh, we all need an ass whooping from time to time.
Thank you for that video, Nikki. So we'll go to you for our next question. So Nikki, explain the importance of using correct messaging in art, as it provides entertainment, but is also educational.
Well, yes, I'd be glad to talk about that. What I noticed that when we talk about art and entertainment, a lot of times when we see music videos, when we see plays, when we see movies, whatever type of art we see, sometimes it's art that's simply for entertainment, or sometimes it's music that's teaching us a bad message. Whether it's, misogyny, violence, drugs, whatever that may be. But when we use correct messaging in art, we not only entertain people, but we can also educate people and inspire them. One of the people I like to point to is Tupac and what he did with his music. He used his music to talk about what was happening in the community, but he also gave a solution to that problem, and he spoke for people that did not have a voice. And so that's what I like to do with my art. I like to take little things that we may see funny or what's happening in the community, and I like to address those things in a way where it entertains people, but it also educates people and makes them think seriously about the issue and what we can do about it to be moved to transform this issue, because we can be moved to do something negative. We can be moved to be materialistic and talk about how many cars we got, how much change we have, so we can be moved in either direction. But we need to focus when we're doing art on what type of messages that we're feeding ourselves when we look at art, and then also when we create art, what type of messages are we putting out. So it's about using art, but using art in a way that's still entertaining, is still funny, but it also enlightens people and it empowers people and it informs and educates people and inspires them to positive action.
That was awesome, Nikki. Thank you again for that. I want to shift gears and go to Bergit. Bergit, I have a question for you. How do you think the arts have enriched the lives of the children you work with?
I believe that many of the children have changed because they took ownership of these productions and the art. They created the art in relation to the production. They wrote the production. We mostly had to put in positive things on the end because there was never any light on the end of these performances. So I know, for example, I did a huge mural project way back in Hawk Middle School, and 98 to 99% of these children in the school were Mexican American or from different Latin American countries. So the wall was like 15 feet high and a whole long wall. So I asked them what they know about their history. They did nothing. They knew nothing about the Mayan culture, the Aztecs, the Toltecs, or any of their incredible cultures from the past in Mexico or in other Latin American countries. So when we started, when I started with them, I asked them about these questions. They had no answers. They didn't know anything about their history. So we put on the wall what they did not know. We put artwork of the Mayan culture, I think Mayan, Aztec, and the beginning of the conquistadors. And I think that there was another culture in between, and I forgot. I'm sorry. And the kids learned a lot. The whole school learned a lot because there was not one book in the library talking about the Mayan history, and they were incredible artists. I mean, the Mayan art is beautiful. They didn't know anything about it. So through art, we can teach all kinds of things, not only history, but their circumstance and how to change things if they're in a negative situation, or what to do. What do you want in your life? Do you want to come back to here, to the juvenile facilities, or do you want to go beyond this? And nobody wants to come back. They all talk very negative about those facilities. The food is bad, and the clothes is bad, and we have to share clothes. And I mean, everything is negative. I just got a whole bunch of writings about how they dislike these facilities. And I'm going to put it in the next magazine I'm working for the kids. Put in these informations about it, how they feel about the juvenile facility. But I know theater, like what Nikki was doing, was really funny. Good artist, good actor. Through theater, I mean, you have to learn the lines. You will remember the lines, which is a great thing too, because normally kids never did any theater. They don't know anything about theater. They never have seen a show because their parents can't afford it, or they don't have time taking them to any theater performance. So they perform for their peers in the facilities. It was great. I mean, kids loved it. They really loved it. And often they did free speech on top of it, in the beginning when they introduced themselves, or in the end. It was always very positive, really. And the feedback from the kids and the facilities, surprisingly, very much. Some of these people up there in the upper echelons in the facilities, they know the importance of art. Not all of them, but many of them. And that is very good because way back when we started in the facilities, the executive director was very good. But when he left, the next one was like horrible. I mean, he was really bad. He didn't like the kids to do anything, to have no entertainment or nothing. And the prison was always full. I mean, kids had to sleep on the floor in the hallways. It was horrible. And I saw things that really blew my mind too, you know. They were chaining girls on the beds because they were very, they didn't like the environment, and then they do certain things, and the way to control them was tie them with a chain on the bed. I mean, that's crazy. These are children. These are not adults. Even adults, you wouldn't do it. But I mean, I think art is really important vehicle to bring a different vibe into these facilities, because it's a safe environment, it's peaceful, it's creative, and kids love it. And there was always more kids who want to come than we would take. So we always had a list for the next time. Those who want to come again can come again, and those new ones will be put in for those who were leaving or whatever. And sometimes you hear their stories. I mean, it's ridiculous, you know, why they're in there sometimes. It's really, it's just, it's a money machine, basically, from my point of view.
Awesome. Thank you, Brigit. And as an educator and a person who loves children, I commend you for what you do. Thank you.
Welcome.
All right. Let's shift gears one more time and go to Johnny, and he has an original poem that he's going to perform for us.
Okay, I'll be reading a poem from a book called The Revolutionary Diaries, and this poem is called Genocide in the Streets. Attention, all law enforcement. I know some of you terrorists have orders to hunt us down. It's time everyone is exposed to the truth. America's not what you think it is. It's been taken over by criminals with badges, and your racist president is their new leader. They nearly have everything they want, absolute control over our souls. These pigs have been murdering our brown and black brothers, and it won't end there unless we stop them in their bloody tracks. We all have lost someone, even a part of ourselves. Our people want to live in peace, but that's not going to happen today because of the police rage that still infects our streets. As activists, we should do our best to defend ourselves. So, policemen, remember this when you pull that trigger. Not only are you taking a life, you have turned your back on humanity. This racist America thinks the rest of us are monsters. Not your rubber bullets nor gas bombs are going to separate us. We have something you'll never have. That's heart and soul. That is all we need to protect ourselves in this endless protest of your race war. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Johnny, for that. Now, for our panelists, please let the community know how to reach you if they would like to support any of your projects. We'll start off with you, Johnny. We'll go right back to you.
Yes. Anybody who would like to get in contact with me, I'm on Facebook as Johnny Torres. Like I said, I'm planning on another book's coming out like in 2 months. Then after that, maybe next year another one will come out. It just all depends on the timing. But that's where you can find me on Facebook. I'm really good friends with Nikki, Luellen. If anybody like doesn't really know who I am, you can. If you're friends with her, you can find me on her list. But that's how you can reach me. I'm just usually writing through protest, and mostly my revolutionary activities is mostly by writing. I've done all kinds of protests, but ever since the COVID and all kinds of things, the protest scene kind of died down a little bit, but it's still happening very frequently. But I try to do my best in my work in writing. So that's where you can find me, is on Facebook. But if anything else comes up, I hope I can. I'll let anybody know. Definitely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nikki, can we get your information, please?
Yes, and I also have Steph on the line. So my information is you can reach out to me on Facebook at Nikki L. And also, you can go to my Facebook page at Nikki L Films and Theater, and you can email me at Luellen at grassrootsleadership.org, and that's NLUELLEN at grassrootsleadership.org. And I also have, well, give me a minute.
While we're waiting, can we have Brigit go ahead and give us her information
It's
on how to reach out to her?
Children's Prison Art at sbcglobal.net.
Awesome.
If you want to start an art program in the prison, please connect.
Thank you, Brigit. And now we have an original poem from Steph Jones. I believe that we've been able to get him back on.
Okay, so this.
Okay, hold on 1 second. 1 second. Okay, are you ready?
Yes. Okay, so this poem is entitled "Hidden Hands." It's a poem that original poem that I wrote. Hello?
Hello, yes, I think you're having, okay.
Yeah, I'm having some connection issues. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so here we go. While humanity is getting abused,
Oh, hold on 1 second. They're asking, can I raise my volume up? Okay. Can y'all hear them now?
Hello?
How is the volume? It's bad.
There's a delay. Go louder if you can.
Can you speak really loud?
Yeah, can y'all hear me at this volume?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. While humanity is getting abused, arrested, and oppressed, I know there's going to be some kind of divine intervention. Make me want to holler like Marvin, starving for justice, because we've been suffering since the lies about us, the indigenous, been going on for too long. Hopes of Martin Luther King dreams, but we've been settling for American nightmares. Asking who really cares? Well, I do. Seems like only a select few really care about the truth. A deeper question is, do we care about the youth? Or will we continue down the road of false stories being told to maintain selfish gain while injustice reigns from a hidden hand? The hidden plan has always been to bury the heritage of Black and brown children. Seriously, there is no honor and dishonesty about identity controlled by a hidden entity. Can't say we know ourselves if we don't know our roots. Our history been substituted, polluted, and diluted, watered down by charlatans, killer clans, and hidden hands. False citizens who claim to be here to lend a helping hand, but their agenda is hidden and the truth is forbidden. So they will never demand or take a stand for justice. Why? Because their operation is depopulation. That is the ultimate plan of the hidden hand. Thank you.
And can you say your information on how they can reach you? It's your
Yeah, so I'm Steph Jones, and you can reach me on Instagram at Golden Poetic, all lowercase letters. And also my email is tkoartists with an S on the end at gmail.com. So that's tkoartists at gmail.com.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Steph. Awesome poem. Now the moment I think quite a few people have been waiting on. Let's announce the winner for tonight, and we'll have Umbre, our timekeeper, announce that.
Sorry, y'all. I'm having little technical difficulties. Hello, everyone. The moment we all been waiting for, the winner. So I'm going to go ahead and announce the winner. But before I do so, just a second. 1 second. Sorry, y'all. I've been having technical difficulties with my computer all day. So the winner is Chavez. So, woo!
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Umbre. All right. So thank you all for tuning in. Please give all our panelists and yourself a round of applause for being here at such an important event. Thank you. All right. Be sure to follow us on Facebook at Texas Advocates for Justice and Texas Advocates for Justice Houston. If you would like to join our organization or sign up as a volunteer, email us at criminaljustice@grassrootleaderships.org. Thank you and have a great night.